Hey, third grade. So I'm going to tell you guys, we are coming to an end, that is for sure. This week and definitely next week are going to look a lot different. Next week, we're not going to necessarily have daily math lessons like we have been, because next week is going to be just more of a fun end of the year activity kind of week where we're just going to be able to have extra meetings with each other. We're going to have theme days. And we're just going to try to have some fun with it, okay? So we are going to do a little bit of math this week on area and perimeter because I want to make sure you see that. Now, I know that some of you guys have already been practicing with area and perimeter on Zearn, which is outstanding. But I want to make sure that we look at it and we practice it together. You are not going to have a quiz or a test on this, okay? It's just going to be our final topic that we talk about in math this year. So we are on chapter 19 in our student textbooks. So make sure you have your 3B textbook. The first subject that we're going to be talking about is area. And area is the amount of surface covered. So if I have a fence, I'm going to draw my backyard. Okay? Here's my fence in my backyard. If I were to measure the sides of my fence and add them together, that would give me the perimeter. However, if I come in here in the middle of my fence and I draw my grass, and I need to figure out how much grass I need in order to plant in my backyard to have a full backyard of grass, then this is my area, okay? So the area is basically the amount of space that is inside of an object or inside of the perimeter. Area and perimeter are different. This is the perimeter of my backyard. The edges, the lengths, the width around it. And the area is the amount inside. Okay, so inside of my backyard. Let's go ahead and open up our textbook to page 349 together, and we're going to read a little bit about area and square units today. Go ahead and say square units. Perfect. Now, I know that some of you guys have been working with grid paper. Grid paper is pretty cool because grid paper actually has square units inside of it, and you're going to see what that looks like. So go ahead and open up to that page, 349, or just follow along and read with me. So take a look at this first figure. It says, count the number of square tiles in each figure. Okay, let's go ahead and count them. Here we go. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. And how many do we have in B? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So figure B is made up of 5 square tiles. Figure A is made up of 4. Let's look at C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Figure C is made up of 6 square tiles. She says, the amount of surface covered by the tiles is the area of each figure. So the area here would be 4. The area here would be 5. And the area here would be 6. Let each square tile stand for 1 unit. Figure B is made up of 5 square tiles, so its area is 5 square units because there are squares. Figure C has the largest area because that had the largest amount, that had 6. And figure A has the smallest area because it had the smallest amount of tiles, that had 4. Down here it says area is the amount of surface covered. It is measured in square units, okay? Go ahead and flip to textbook page 350. It's going to look like this, okay? Find that page for me and let's look at some of these together. So it says, look at the figures and answer the questions. How many square tiles make each figure? Okay, well, let's look at A first. Everybody on your whiteboard, go ahead and write down how many square tiles A has. Perfect. What about B? What about C? And then number 2 says each tile is 1 square unit. What is the area of each figure? Well, your answers for 1 and 2 are going to be the same, look. Because if you figure out how many square tiles each figure has, then you have also figured out the area. So you should have gotten 9, 8, and 9. Then it says which figure has the smallest area. So out of these, which one has the smallest area or the least amount of square tiles, guys? Perfect. You should say B. Which 2 figures have the same area? So which 2 figures are equal? Write that on your board for me. Good. So you should write A and C. Now I want you to pay very close attention to this bottom piece on this page, okay? We have learned all about fractions this year. It was a couple chapters ago. And we've learned that 2 halves make a whole, right?